Welcome to Mediocre Gaming, and today we're playing The Crew 2. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and salutations. Today, The Crew 2, is it worth your money? Let's get to it. So based on the closed beta for The Crew 2, is it worthwhile to pre-order or to buy when it comes out at the end of this month, June 28th, I believe, is the release date. So let's get right into it. So one of the nice things about the Crew 2 is it's basically always in free roam. When you're in a race, you're in there only with your AI opponents and your crew. The free roam session can have up to 7 players, so 8 players including yourself in one area or region. There are many different types of vehicles. I mean, there are 3 main types of vehicles. There's airplanes, there's boats, and there's cars. Each one is very distinctive. Even different cars will react slightly differently than other cars, and the cars can have various tune-up options, and certain options are unlocked as you go up in popularity from rookie to popular to icon. And with that, there are rewards that are unlocked with each level. So the higher you go, the more rewards that you unlock. And when you're looking at it, there are many different cars, many different options. And like I said, you can change your ABS and your traction control and a lot of other options like the dead zone on your controller. So there are just a whole lot of possibilities for customizing other than just getting upgrades and parts. Now there's different liveries which will completely change how your car looks and make it completely yours, or you can download someone else's livery to your car for credits and it will change the look of your car. I mean, there's this Triforce car which is kind of cool, or you can make your own. Lots of colors, lots of different parts, performance parts. Very big. It brings your car from the stock level all the way up to whatever the maximum level for that type of vehicle. So all the rally grade cars can go up to 140, I believe. So each car starts at a stock level, whatever that stock level happens to be. 42 for this one. Other ones might be higher or lower, but you can all get up to that 140 level. Many different visual customizations. Not only are there different types of rims, a whole lot, 82 as you can see here, but you can also put them in different colors and different rim sizes. And that will not change the performance. This is completely visual, this part of it. And again, this is all for credits. Whenever you want to change something on your car, it will cost you credits. If you make your own livery and you want to change it to that, it will cost credits, even though you're making it yourself and you take the time to do all that. And then there's a whole page worth of statistics which show you how much time you spent in each activity. And you can see here there's street races, drift, drag race, hypercar, rally raid, motocross, rallycross, aerobatics, jet sprint, monster truck, powerboat air race, touring car, and Alpha Grand Prix. Now you can see how you earned your credits, or bucks as they're called here. Different skills, other things that you can do, total driving distance, all in miles, top speed for each type of vehicle, motorcycles included, and your best jump, obviously not for planes, but for cars and boats. So that gives you a rundown of all of that. Now, looking at all the upgrade parts, not only are there different numbers, so the higher the number, the better it is, up to a certain maximum. For street race cars, it's 280. But you have different perks on the parts and different types of parts. So if you're looking at these different brakes, there are different types of brakes. They look visually different and they focus on different things depending on what they are. So the type of brake will change how the car reacts. And there's different rarities. So you have the stock, which is white. You have the green, which is the next level up. You have blue, which is more rare. And that one has one perk on it, and you can see it in the top left of the icon. And then purple has 2 perks. Now, in the closed beta, they didn't really go into any detail what these perks are, what they do. I can tell you that they do not change the top speed, 0 to 60, and all that stuff that you see over there. But you can kind of guess what some of them do. There are several ones with a lightning bolt on them. Those are all tied to nitrous. You can see one that kind of looks like an eyeball. You've got one that's got kind of just a straight arrow line. There's one may have something to do with drag, top speed. There's a couple ones with gears on them. So you might be able to change gears a little bit faster with those. Like I said, there wasn't really any information on the perks that different upgrade parts give, or perf parts, or performance parts as they're called in the Crew 2. A lot of different ones, and you can see one that has a buck symbol with an arrow up. So that one I know for in fact gives you extra bucks for winning races or activities. So instead of giving you the standard amount, you actually get above that. Now, it's not a huge amount above that, but if all of your performance parts have that increased buck performance or perk, then it will increase by quite a bit. Now, I am going to make an assumption that each additional perk that you get that is on a separate upgrade part will have diminishing returns. So if you have tires that have increased bucks and ECU that have increased bucks, that one may upgrade it 5%, and then the other one will do an additional 3% or 4%. So it does go up, but it goes up by less by each one. And that's what I'm going to assume. Now the map is extremely large. You can go from one side of the map to the other completely in a car or airplane. There are certain areas that you can use a boat and some areas that you can't. It just depends on the water. Now at some point you will reach the edge of the map, and this is what I did here. When you get to the edge of the map, you can't even put a waypoint to the edge of the map. You have to get close to the map and just keep going. And what happens is that you get to that edge of the map and you go beyond it, and then the game puts you back inside the map. Now when you're playing and you win a race, or you get that objective, whatever it happens to be, the top 3, or win the race, and you get extra performance parts or perf parts, but you already have 15 perf parts for one slot. So you have too many motor cores or propellers or whatever. That 16th piece that you should have been able to pick up but you didn't, in this case the ECU, it will get sent to your mailbox. So if you do not pick up an upgrade, or you didn't see it and you started doing something else, or other friends that are in your crew, they say, hey, let's go do this over here, and they fast travel and you couldn't pick it up. You don't lose it. It'll go to the mailbox. In order to get it from the mailbox, all you have to do is go to your map, go to one of those flashing beacons, that's just the different headquarters, fast travel to those, and there'll be a big container and it says mailbox right over the top of it. Just walk over to that and then you can pick up your item. Now the mailbox can get full, so if you have been missing parts, at some point you will want to go pick them up, because there's only so many slots in the mailbox, and then you'll start losing them. But you have at least 16 slots, so that is 7 or 8 races. Now, one of the things that I wasn't too crazy about, one of them is collision detection. There were several times when the collision, there should have been a collision, but there wasn't, because I wasn't at the right part. The boats are particularly egregious on this. And then another thing is trying to do some of the aerobatics. They didn't register. So here I tried to do a loop like 3 different times before it actually registered. Hopefully that will get fixed between now and the final release. Same thing here. I did a barrel roll. I did 3 in a row. I ended up doing 4 in a row because it did not register the last one as a roll. Partially, I think, because I was not horizontal, but as long as you're doing the movement, it should still count, in my opinion. Here again, another loop that doesn't quite work. I also noticed that the collision physics with some of the checkpoint markers was a little wonky. Sometimes I would hit a checkpoint marker with a car and it would stop me dead in my tracks. Sometimes it wouldn't stop me at all. It would just bounce and go flying somewhere. And sometimes it would kind of be like this perpetual motion machine, and it would just keep rolling and rolling along as I was going. One of my favorite things about the Crew 2 is you can have up to 3 of your friends on your crew, as you can see here, and it can be friends or it can just be random people in your session. You can invite them. You can see people that are already in a crew. If they join you, you become the leader and you can decide what activities that you can do, or you can just play around and free roam. But the other thing that you can do when you're in a crew is that you can do these activities, these races. So if you have friends that are also playing, you can invite them in, or you can join their crew. You can go in and do a race. And they'll load in with you, just like that. You go in, you start the race, and it's just like you were doing it by yourself, but one of the AI then turns into one of the people on your crew. Up to 4. So you can have,
I know I'm not usually the one saying this
so
sort of
4
thing.
positions could
Are you
be
sure about this
players,
race?
4 by AI. Now it won't necessarily make it easier, because the 4 AI that are left are going to be the top 4 AI. So it will still be difficult to do if you had been having trouble with it. But on the plus side, maybe one of your friends is a little bit better than you at this particular race. So they've been doing this race and they understand the best lines to take, They have a little bit more or better upgrades than what you have on your vehicle. So you're doing the best you can, but your friend just has a much better vehicle. They have the better upgrades. They have the better modifications or whatever. Or maybe it's you. Maybe you're doing better than your friends. Whatever the case may be. Now this is the hard version of the Uber Dam race. In order to get the reward, you have to win the race. Now the person on my crew here is going to win the race, and they do. So what does that mean? That means that everyone on your crew still gets the rewards. So you didn't win the race, but someone reached the objective. So it turns that X into a check, and you get the rewards as well as the other people on your crew. So I think that is fantastic. I think that's a great way to go about rewarding people for playing cooperatively. Like I said, if you're having trouble with a race, someone else is not having trouble, team up with them and get that help to see what you're doing that could be a little bit better. Are you just not having the right line or whatever? One of the other things that I really enjoy, the day and night cycle and the changes of weather. Racing in the daytime is actually a lot different than racing at night because you don't have that same line of sight. It's a little bit more difficult to see what's coming up at night. Also, when it's raining or after it has rained, the vehicles behave differently. So you have these puddles, which is affecting how your tires grip. So I think that is great. I think that brings a little bit more realism to the game. Now, I don't think anyone's going to say that this is a realistic racing game, but it is more realistic than some other arcade games, and this is one of the reasons why. Now, additionally, you can have fun with a realistic racer, but you also have to put in a lot of time to learn what you're doing. I think with the Crew 2, you can pick up a controller and just start playing and have fun doing it right off the bat. So really, really great. I give them thumbs up for that. And if you're looking for a simulation, there's already a couple of really good racing simulations out there. So why reinvent the wheel? Now, some of the racetracks are more difficult intrinsically than others. So they are just less forgiving than some of the other ones. So if you make a mistake, that could cost you the race on hard mode. Which I think is also good because some tracks should be more difficult than others. I found that some of the tracks were not too difficult. They were a little bit easier as long as you had that recommended level. So as long as you had the recommended level and you were adequate at racing on that track, that you would be okay. You didn't have to know all of the lines. As long as you kind of knew what to do, you would win the race. And one of the nice things is that on normal, the races, you only have to be in the top 3. So it's a little bit more forgiving. On hard, you have to win. Now, why would you play hard instead of normal? Well, you do get a little bit more credits. Not a lot, but you do get a little bit more. But the big thing is that the reward pool changes. For normal, the reward pool is a guaranteed green. And you normally get 2, but sometimes you get 1. On hard, you have a chance of getting blue, guaranteed getting blue, chance of getting purple. You can also get a purple doing normal, not as likely. And hard, I noticed that you have a chance of getting a visual part. So you can get a different rim or a different wing or a different front end or back end. And that was even more rare to get than, say, the purples. Because purples still dropped in normal, not as often as hard, but it still happened. And the end game is, of course, you want all purples in every slot that you have, because every purple gives you 2 perks. The blues only give you 1, and greens don't give you any. I am going to say that this game is a definite buy if you like racing games. If you don't, no amount of fun is going to change that. So if you like racing games, absolutely pick this one up. See if your friends are going to pick it up, because it will be even more fun playing with other people that you know. It'll be fun by yourself, but it'll be even more so with others. Well, thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and we'll see you next time.